Greetings, everyone. This is Not for the Meek. And today we have the Agitator once again. And we have a guest, a gentleman that I just met just now, which is Mr. Elijah. And we're talking about something that we've been hearing a lot about nowadays, about passport boys. And passport boys is so relevant because my colleague, the agitator, and I both met each other doing passport things down in South America and known each other ever since. Over like 12 years now. So let's talk about it, gentlemen. Agitator, you want
Well,
to start it off about what you think
what
about this new generation of people doing stuff that we've always been doing?
now, I'm not going to hold my tongue.
You know, don't by all
I
means.
I think I
That's why we're
think
a big
it's
shoot and rumble, everyone. It's fine
the
to
what
say
now? What you said?
we're a big
What you said?
shoot and rumble.
I think this new movement, how they are marketing it, I think it's an embarrassment to us. The movement is an embarrassment.
And why is
They
that?
is well they you have to actually be out there in these different countries to see these brothers out there. And
Oh,
and the yes, it's inside of different clubs, drunk, talking loud, fighting, and it's man, it's so much that it's just to me it's embarrassing, and I try to keep my distance. And we already have a bad or a negative image in the U.S. and the people in these countries, they already have this perception of us from television, from what they see in these countries. And
definitely.
when we come, all they know about us is what they see on TV.
Hmm.
But when they actually meet us and we live up to that, to what they saw on TV, it's all negative, nothing good whatsoever. And they have absolutely no respect for us,
Mm.
none whatsoever. From the airports to the hotels and the streets, it's embarrassing.
So you're
It's
saying that the nigger is now traveling abroad. The nigger has a passport.
some somebody went into the. I was in Poblado in this restaurant.
Hmm.
This guy came in, basketball shorts, wife beater, flip flops, and socks, with a black and mallet in his ear. It was on a Sunday. He came in talking, hey, hey. I'm like, what the fuck? I got up and I left
Mm.
because I thought I was in the States.
And,
It's
and,
like
and
somebody went to the pit, went to the hoods and the prisons and just started handing out passports and a plane ticket.
and this is in
Here's a passport.
Colombia?
This is in Colombia.
Really? Mm.
I don't know one country, and trust me, I'm not talking about all brothers. I'm not,
Mm.
because I know some brothers building houses, got businesses. I know some brothers doing their thing,
Mm.
but like 98%, my perspective, how the hell you get on? What are you doing on Earth?
Mm.
That's my perspective, and it makes it harder for me because I do business.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna shut up. One time I was coming back from Medellin, and I was in Miami, and the immigration officer asked me. He said, "Where you coming from?" I said, "Medellin." He said, "Oh, yeah, I already know. I already know. I already know about that. I done heard some things about that, bro. Yeah, I know what you about." And he did what he did, gave me my passport. Glad to have you back. And I'm saying to myself,
Stereotyped you.
I went along with the nigga
Hmm.
because I didn't want to tell him, no, I'm not down there for that. I'm down there for own business. Had I told him that, his whole everything would have changed. What you got in the bag?
Hmm.
What are you doing there? What type of business? But if he thought I was operating off a lower frequency, come on back into the stage, brother. I know what you down there for. That was
Hmm.
an insult. It wasn't a compliment. Now
Let,
I'm
let,
shutting up.
let me ask you
That
this:
wasn't a compliment. Go
Have
ahead.
it has it is it Colombia in the process of legalizing cocaine?
I never
Elijah,
heard
you
that.
heard about that?
I was under the impression that cocaine was already legalized. I heard it was a sale of cocaine that was illegal.
Yeah,
Oh,
because I heard that the government is passing a law to make it legal. So I guess it's for selling as well, so they're going to be one of the exports again. They're going to make it
excuse me.
legal to export it now.
I haven't heard about that. But then
Mm.
once again, I'm in your own business.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's the thing I'm saying too. I'm thinking, I'm like, well, it's an interesting topic, but to be honest, I wouldn't even know. I'm not doing any cocaine, but yeah,
Well, I
Right.
mean, I'm just following the news, which I'm more on a global economy thing and watching what countries are doing. So I'm looking at it as it's a business thing. Because I remember when they were getting into the marijuana thing, that they was
yeah,
trying
definitely.
to have
Yeah,
hemp
yeah,
products and everything and sell that. So now they're like, okay, well we're into that and everything, and we want to get back into cocaine. Really make some
Hey,
money.
hey, I know nothing about that. I
Well, I
never
understand.
heard anything. Right. So my thing
I
right now that's
digressed.
my thing
Hmm.
right now is this passport movement that's that's running rapid and it's
yeah.
destroying. Go
It's
ahead.
To give
Go
you
ahead.
destroying our what we look like. Are we
Go
image,
ahead,
looking?
Elijah. Go ahead,
yeah, but
Elijah.
yeah, to give you my 2 cents on the whole passport bro situation, I feel like um the people who are really pushing it are not really people who actually travel, who really know about the stuff that they're doing. And I feel like the majority of people who are pushing it, they're not really pushing what they say they're pushing. They're most likely pushing like they're trying to really monetize it. You know what I mean? And there's a difference between people who really know what they're doing and they sharing knowledge,
Hmm.
and people who are really just trying to make a dollar off you. You know what I mean? Like, and I could go into stories for days, but the whole bro thing. I remember maybe like 10 years ago when I was traveling, like in the early years of my traveling, that was actually a negative thing because the reason why we used to make fun of the whole bro thing was because when you traveled overseas, specifically to places like Dominican Republic, and they saw you as a black foreigner, a lot of them would try to cozy up to you, and that's how they did it. They would say, bro, I'm your brother, I'm your brother. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm black too. And to the right goofy foreigner, that's going to result in them breaking off some money in their pockets. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Right. Right.
That that's where the whole bro thing came from when people started really saying it. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
like a lot of the knowledge that's being pushed, it's not really being pushed from people who lived in these countries, who have business in these countries. Most of these guys don't speak the language of the country that they're trying to tell you to go to. They've probably been
Mhm.
there 1 or 2 times. You know what I mean? And to be honest, I'm
Hmm.
not really throwing like saying that they bad people are throwing shade at it, but I'm just saying the point of what it is in terms of really opening up people to a new lifestyle and giving them this sort of information needs to be from people who actually have that experience and information. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Right. But how? But most of the brothers that I know that has been in these countries for years, a lot of us don't even respond. Now I respond because I'm outspoken, so I respond in these groups. But I know guys that they don't even respond. They're doing their business and they're not saying anything. It's to me, it's the newcomers that
Yeah,
that they in DR for 3, 4, 5 years. They in Colombia for 2 years. I live here for 2 years, and I know and and like, as you said, I'm trying to monetize having consultations. What the hell I'm gonna pay you for a consultation for to come into the
exactly.
country? What the
To
fuck are you
get
talking about?
to hook you up with
Exactly.
a
That's such
realtor.
Do I
man.
know?
Exactly. And it's like they don't even know the right connections that they're giving consultations to. And that's the weirdest thing about consultations, because it's like you paying somebody who don't live there, who don't know anything about it, who couldn't talk their way out of a paper bag because they don't even speak the language of the country that they're trying to consult you for. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's people on YouTube now talking about giving them money so they can go and do the things that they're supposed to be consulting you on. How you gonna consult somebody when you need their money to go and make that trip? Like that part, it doesn't make sense to me.
No, seriously. Now, what he's saying is true. Whenever I hear consultation, whenever I hear that word consultation, and anything that the collective Black America do, to me, it's a red flag. It's a red flag that you don't have no money, and you trying to make some money while you there. That's what I hear. And in the Airbnb business, I'm not mad. I get it. I understand. But someone was doing that in Colombia back in, when I first started going to Colombia, like 2010. This guy was, it was in the building called Energy. $140 for per night. I looked online, it was $100. I got it online, got it $100. The guy sent me back, hey, you want the place? I said, I got it for $100. So what consultation? Just spend the time and energy, do your research. You have to pay somebody to guide you around to do what? Meet some hookers?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, pretty much.
Another thing.
Yeah,
you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying another thing that I don't like about it is that like a lot of it goes under the guise of this brotherhood shit, where it's like they're really trying to make it seem like, you know, you're better off with another Black American. And that's not always the case, especially if that person don't know what it really is over there. So if you a brother of mine and I'm really looking out for your best interest, a lot of times that's going to be hooking you up with a local who I can know and trust. You know what I mean?
Right. But what I'm saying is it's like I said, it's not in every case, but just the majority is all about money, monetizing it. And I'm like, hey man, bro, if you pay you I was looking at it was online. They're doing like a trip for like $2,000. I'm like, does that include the airline to DR?
Wow.
Just the hotel and some amenities. You got to pay for your own flight. I'm like saying, well, you could book that yourself and pay $30 to $50, $60 a night.
But the whole thing is this. You think that the whole world runs off of taking advantage of people that don't have the knowledge. That's what it's all about.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, which is about taking advantage of people that don't know. They don't know how much it costs to be there. They might see something and they just go jump into it. It's always a scam going on. There's nothing different.
Yeah, but don't.
And you know what? Is that I could understand you saying that's business. You know what I mean? Because like you said, the whole world operates off of that, and I completely agree. Yeah. When you try to spin it as I'm your brother looking out for you, now I got a problem with it.
That was my point. You stole my thunder. That was my point. I mean, don't do it on the brotherhood. Yeah. Tell me you're doing it. Tell me you're in business. Hey man, this is my business.
But isn't that the same thing as the church? The church is acting like they're part of you and everything, that you're part of their community, and they.
Yeah, but you're going left field. That's the church. Right. That's a whole nother day. This is.
I thought we were talking about foul-ass people, sir.
Right. But the thing now is just the passport brother movement. Okay. And every time I get a clip of social media, it's a passport brother, and I just got my passport. Yeah. I'm like, well, some misinformation is that you're going off into a third world country and you're smarter than they are.
Oh, let me not get started with that.
But you know what? Go ahead, Elijah. Go ahead, take it.
There's a lot of different stories I could tell you about them. I'll get into a lot of them as long as we got time. But generally, what you're talking about is like you got to remember, tourism is an industry. There are people waiting for you to arrive. You're not smarter than nobody is. That's their 9 to 5. That's their bread and butter. That's how they eat. They make a living off of G'ing you out your pocket. So you ain't going over there pulling nothing that they ain't never seen.
Nah.
There's another one you come in there every single day. So you ain't G'ing none of the dudes asking for money. You're not G'ing none of the taxi drivers or them girls that tell you that they love you. There's another one you come in. And it's just like, it takes some people some time to adjust to really be like, okay, cool, I see what it is. And sometimes you got to see it happen to another person to see what it is. But like when you go to these countries, like make no mistake, like they make a living out of getting you out your pocket. So it's like that's their bread and butter. So you can't come over there thinking that you just gonna pull a fast one on somebody. Like, you know what I mean?
They can almost smell novice, and when you can fool them, they think you're a novice, and then you start speaking Spanish to them, and you start no, like several times I got into Medellin late at night, and the last flight, I think it gets in like 12 o'clock, something like that. So most of the buses are done. So taxi guys out there, oh, where you going? 150,000 pesos. Or just, I'm like, no, man, that ain't what it is. I tell you what, I'm gonna catch this white taxi right here for 22,000 pesos. I'm gonna team up with some more people. We're gonna go to San Diego. Because I have an apartment here. I have an address here. I'm not paying you 150,000 pesos. Yeah, I'm serious. Because and then you start talking, and then once you can get a ride. This is the long way. There's a lot of traffic. I said, no, you don't. Take that top.
All the games.
Right. So what I said, no, you see right there, Loretta? Take that hill right there, and we can take this hill through Buenos Aires, back off into Barrio, Boston. You don't have to wait. I don't know. I know. Take that road. I'll show you where to go. Because, come on, tú sabes muchos de Colombia. I said, yeah, I know a lot about this motherfucker. Take that top road.
I'm glad you brought up that point, because that's one of the type of things that I'm saying you need experience to teach. You know what I mean? If you only been to the country 1 or 2 times and you don't know the language, you don't know that. But a lot of people, they come into Colombia, you know how the taxi system runs. You're going to get your money robbed, and they're not going to take a little, they're going to take a lot. In Colombia, because I'm in Colombia right now also. In Colombia, they have government-run taxis. You don't just get inside of any taxi. And the government.
So you have to use the government-run taxi.
You don't have to, but trust me, it's in your best interest sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to be more honest than a regular taxi.
Well, they also have pre-made fees. So they can't just give you a price. Ain't no meter on it. You know what I mean? Every place that you go is already on the menu. So you know exactly what the price is before you even step in the taxi. But if you don't know that, you're going to get in a taxi and they're going to run you for 2-3 times as much with no qualms about it. But that's I'm glad you pointed that out.
You know what? Watch this. I was down in Poblado again at a restaurant. Because it was normally on Sundays, I go down there for the football games. And I was getting ready to leave. And this guy said, this brother was down and he was like, if you coming down here in Colombia and you complaining about 2,000 pesos, 3,000 pesos, you don't need to be down here. You need to be back in the States. Well, you know, I don't engage with niggas in low frequency. So I didn't say nothing to the nigga, but it was another one of my buddies that was with me. And he's down, as a matter of fact, he's down there now. And we got up to like Calle 10 and 43. I got ready to get into a taxi. And I got in a taxi and I said, hey, take me to San Antonio, which is a 9,000 peso ride. The taxi driver said, 40,000 pesos. Now see, this goes back to that ignorant fucker that was telling me that I shouldn't complain if a taxi driver is overcharging me 2,000 or 3,000 pesos. I should just happily pay it. Well, that taxi driver took somebody else for 40,000 pesos. down the street and they paid it because they thought like him. Yeah. See, now what they don't understand what they're doing is, what now?
Probably got bad information.
Exactly. So now what the taxi drivers do and what people don't really understand about these Colombians, they are on code. Those taxi drivers, they get together and they talk. Hey, the Black Americans, you could overcharge them. Mm-hmm. So next thing you know, I'm like saying, man, I got out the taxi. My buddy's like, hey man, why are you getting out the taxi? I said, he charged me 40,000 pesos to go take for a $9,000 trip. I said, it goes back to that guy that just said, paid him that extra $2,000. Next thing you know, that not $1,000, I'm sorry, 2 or 3,000 pesos. Next thing you know, 2 or 3,000 pesos. Then he hit you for 10,000 pesos. Then he hit you for 50. Next thing you know, you paying more than what you're supposed to pay. But here's the thing, here's the problem. The majority of these guys that are overpaying don't live there. So it doesn't affect them. It affects the people that's always there because we have to battle with these taxi drivers. It's no different than the prostitutes. The guy come down there first time, can't speak Spanish. He meet a chick. He asked the chick, how much? She says 100. She's not talking about $100 US, you useless eater. She's talking about 100,000 pesos, which is $25. That stupid motherfucker gives her $100. She runs back to her clique of women. Watch this, because they own code. She tell the other workers, you can charge the dumbass Black American man $100. And they're gonna pay you. Yeah. Because he don't speak, he didn't take the time to speak Spanish. Then you know what he does? This guy probably don't come back for another year. Then he'll go to Dominican Republic, to Sosua, and pay over there. Then he'll go to Brazil. Everywhere he go, he pay more. If a chick say $20, he give her a $20 tip on top of the $20. I know what guys gonna say when they hear this. Why you worry about another man's pocket? Why you count another man's money? So fucking stupid. And I said,
you know what you were saying, it's more than just why you actually watch another man's money, because the difference between that and pointing out the stupidity. Because the thing about it that they don't understand is that it's not just about you giving more money than you're supposed to. It's about the fact that they understand that you don't know where you are, you don't know what you're doing. And instead of actually just being money, eventually it's going to turn into something deadly, because it's not just the money. It's about the fact that you're ignorant. And when you're ignorant, people can play games on you. This is how people get kidnapped. This is how people get drugged. This is how people have getting the issues.
Elijah, it's funny you said that, because within the last year, I've never heard of so many Black men getting killed, getting robbed, and drugged within the last 2 years. And all my traveling, we used to be safe traveling as Black men. All of a sudden, we are target. Somewhere we have made ourselves targets. We're getting, the brothers getting drugged. Yes.
Well,
Elijah can tell you.
Okay.
Brothers talking about getting drugged.
Can you help me with something though?
Go ahead.
Which I understand both of you are the same, because I've traveled and I've dealt with these type of environments. But what I think what you're not addressing is that I don't think they're talking about so much about the country. What they're talking about is escaping these fucking trifling hoes over here. These ratchet females that are just out of control. I saw an article where the women here are drugging and robbing men here too. I mean, these chicks that they try to get whatever they can. So you're talking about a pool of fish that ain't worth shit. Disease and polluted water, and they just trying to get the hell up out of here and go somewhere where at least you get something fine, and maybe possibly you might find a wife. That's what it is. Watch this.
Now, Elijah, you want to take this, or you want me to take it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so it's a good point that you brought up, and I agree with you. A lot of them are talking from a perspective of females, but the thing about it is, these countries are not like a store, like a Walmart, where you can go pay some money and pick up a female. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like you can't just like walk in here, grab a female, and not have to worry about all the other things that are going on around you. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
That's what they don't know. Yeah, I know.
That goes
I,
back to the tourism hustle that I'm telling you about, the industry. The
go
guys,
ahead.
like the taxi driver knows you're here for bitches. Even if you're not, they think that you're there for it. You know what I mean? The security knows you're there for it. The police know you're there for it, and everybody's shaking hands while they counting your money. So it's
Oh
not
yeah.
like you could just come and have one without the other. You got to have the whole holistic picture of all the things that's going on. And I think that you're doing, like, not you, but they're doing people a disservice by making it seem like, you can do that. Like, you just come over here and you don't have to worry about all the other things. You can just get straight to the women. And another thing is that the women that you go into, like I said, they're part of the tourism industry. A lot of these guys are not going in there and meeting regular women waiting for them at the airport or in the tourist locations on the beach. These are the same group of women that are rotating. I can't tell you how many times I've seen guys get in the fights because they posted the same chick inside of a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group or any of that stuff. So these are the same girls that they rotating one after the other. And
Yep.
that's because they don't know how to actually get what they want. And that comes from that ignorance of just saying, 1, 2, 3, come over here, grab a girl. It's not that simple.
Oh no.
Right?
You
No, because
got to go out to the
no,
country or
no,
something.
no, because what these guys think is, oh man, I can go over there and get a girl. And Elijah makes a lot of points. These a lot of times these chicks are working with the guys and setting you up to rob you.
Oh, yeah, they all got police. A lot of times they ain't police
I
officers.
didn't hear him say that. But
I mean
they
they are
working. They working for the weekend. I seen them until they bust in to which is a sewer and stay at a hotel, and they was like, okay, this is like a big thing going on. They go out there to hoe, and they're from all over Dominican Republic. So yeah, it's a job.
Yeah, but what Agitator
that's
was
all.
saying, what I was pointing out, is that, like I was saying, they're all working together and counting your money. The cops, taxis, all of them is working together. The taxis
All
know
of
where
them.
he's bringing these. He's know who he's bringing where, and he knows that he's going to charge you a different price than somebody else. I had a
Mm-hmm.
taxi driver try to convince me that it was a good idea to pay for like some other stuff that I wasn't even necessary to pay for, other prices that I shouldn't be paying because they
Mm-hmm.
working with the person bringing me off. Sometimes they working with the police, and you get caught up in a situation, and then it's like you're not getting no rights. You're not even getting a proper report.
Yeah.
Everything that's happening between you and that girl is going to be off the record because she knows that guy before she called her. She
Yeah.
ain't calling the regular police. She's calling her homie.
Yeah. Damn.
I mean, I have seen so much between when I lived in Jamaica, when I lived in DR, and then Colombia. When I say I have stories for you with what he's talking about, in every situation besides Colombia, I was you had pretty much have the police on your payroll when I had my club in Jamaica because it
Mm-hmm.
actually protected me from this chick.
Mm.
Yes,
One chick.
because listen, one chick that came down to the club, we had an altercation. She called one of her gangster boyfriends. And in Jamaica, when somebody get on the phone and call somebody, whoever they calling is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, they not more than likely not coming by themselves. And me being a foreigner, but at the same time, I had a buddies with me. They were from another gang. So he got in her face because he heard she went off into this deep patois on the phone crying. I'm like, what the hell? I thought I knew patois. No, I realized that I don't. There's another dialect of patois, and it's like nigga, ebonics.
Yeah.
And my buddy got into her face, put his finger in her face, and said something to her. She stopped crying. He said something like, "You don't want me to bring my gang down here." No, he said, "You don't want me to bring my gang to your neighborhood. We're gonna wipe that place out."
Mm-hmm.
She got on the phone, called her boyfriend back, called whoever this guy was back, and said everything is okay. The police came. Yo, Ron, let me talk to you. What's going on? Such and such, such and such. told the chick to come here, going upstairs. You go take care of this. We got this. Ron, going upstairs. We got this.
Mm-hmm.
I had to have, but that's how it works abroad. You don't know these chicks that you're dealing with.
Everything is money.
But look at me. No, what I'm saying is not so much as money in certain countries. It's respect.
Mm-hmm.
It's respect. You're not going to these countries and you thinking you leave your U.S. mentality in whatever airport you leave. You leave in Miami, you leave it there. New York, you leave it there. DFW, you leave your U.S. mentality there. You go abroad with these chicks will get you. A brother got killed in Jamaica like that.
Mm-hmm.
Messing with this chick.
You should leave your mentality in whatever state you in if you travel through another state. Because things ain't working like that in that other state.
Yeah, so when you made the point about the brothers going out there for the women,
yeah.
I can't knock this. I'm not knocking the sisters here. I was a hairstylist for 20 years. I made money off the sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sisters look after me right now to this day. So even with all my traveling around the world, some of the best that I've had was here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the top 3 best I've ever had is sisters here in the States.
So you're saying that the brothers should stay here and work and find good women here instead of traveling abroad?
No, I'm saying a brother should do whatever he think he should do that's going to make him happy, but do it under a code of conduct and ethics.
But they don't know that. They don't know how to code.
Not just be out there, just making it rain in the club. I mean, you throwing thousands of $2,000 up in the air in a club. Well, that's 8 months' salary.
It's the ghetto, sir.
No, I'm just saying it could be guys, professional ball players that come down here. They go to the club and they make it rain in the club, and then watch this. All of the Colombians are looking. All of the Dominicans are looking. All of the Brazilians, the Panamanians, wherever you travel to, they are looking at us. And when one guy do it, it's not him. In their mind, it's all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Like I like that you brought that up because a lot of people don't understand that they don't have as much information about us to really make rational decisions like that, and they're gonna believe whatever's in their best interest. So a lot of times it's in their best interest to believe that all of us are rich and all of us are millionaires. We got a bunch of money in our pocket. As ignorant as it is to believe that anybody who's a foreigner, you run down on them, they got cash with you in their pockets. That's kind of stupid to believe, right? But it's in their best interest, so they're gonna believe it. So if you don't give them certain things, sometimes they're gonna feel like, you just holding out on them or you don't want to give it to them. And they'll get real violent with you if you don't know how to really handle the situation. Because in their mind, the last 2-3 black guys that they saw last week was literally walking through the streets, throwing cash in the air. You know what I mean?
So why you not throwing cash in the air?
You know what it sounds like to me, though? You know what it sounds like? You're saying that we should go ahead and start acting like God's chosen people that we are. Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
why wouldn't you carry yourself?
Go ahead. Because they're not going to do that. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
As a collective,
I'm saying you got to be smart because a lot of these guys, I realize a lot of these guys, they'll be quick to tell you that they from the hood, they like this, they get down like that. Ain't nobody doing this for me, ain't nobody doing that to them. But they'll go to these other places and they'll get caught up over stupid shit. So what I'm saying is that you gotta, keep your head on and be smart. Like every jungle is not your jungle. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And you like if you from New York, you know what I mean, and you go to Miami, you don't have to know that they got different tricks in Miami that they got in New York. They could show you something that you never seen. You get caught off guard. And I feel like a lot of us know that. You know what I mean? You don't go walk around somebody else's hood all goofy and stuff like that. But you don't go to another country that's probably way worse than any hood that you've been to. You're going to walk around acting like a goofball. You know what I mean? You're going to completely ignore the fact that you don't know the language. Meanwhile, you ain't going to go to the South without being privy that they speak in a different dialect than you. Right. But you're going to go to Colombia and not give a fuck that you don't speak Spanish. I think it's all going to go smooth.
But what you're talking about is something that it takes maturity. It takes what you're being properly raised. Our
And that's what
community
bro should be
is
selling.
not being raised properly at all. Which are you know look at what they're trying to escape. They're trying to escape the mothers, the single mothers. That's what they're creating these type of people, this ghetto mentality. I mean, it goes deep. It goes
Yeah, it
deep.
does. Yeah, it definitely does go deep, and I feel like nobody really gets as deep as they should to get through the whole issue. I feel like there's a lot of emotion inside of it, and a lot of it is just like, man, fuck these niggas, and they like, man, fuck these bitches. You know what I mean? So I feel like because like just to, not to go off on a tangent, but if you think there's not a lot of those same women that you're trying to get away from going to those countries too, bro, I've spent a lot of time in those countries. The same women go there. They're
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of times they be posted up there watching you. You probably don't even know because a lot of times they don't look that they're not that obvious. So you probably just got your eyes looking at something else. But a lot of them is posted up right there with you too. Where you going, they going too. You know?
And you know what? I was funny you say that. I met this sister. I met this sister in Colombia like 5, 6 years ago, and she's from the East Coast, Carolinas, and we maintained a relationship for years and talked and talked. You know, she could only take me in spurts like everybody. Like I talk to you in 2 more years, but
Mm-hmm.
and she said to me one day we were talking. She said, "Yeah, I know you probably like the white girls." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, there's a lot
See,
of
they automatically assume that if you travel abroad, that you are into white girls and Latino girls. You're not into sisters.
well,
That's
if you
they
have some
think.
sort
Did
of animosity,
you tell her
if you
you
have
went
some
to
sort of
Ukraine or something?
animosity,
Do I know? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Elijah.
no, I was just adding to what he said. Like they think that you like a certain type of girl or that you have some sort of animosity towards them. You know what I mean? Because in my example, I've
Right.
never had any animosity toward black women. I mean, they're not necessarily my favorite type of women. I just like variety. Sometimes I like this, sometimes I like that. But I've never
Mm-hmm.
Right.
had animosity. Like I don't like them or anything like that. And I don't feel like dating a different woman means that I don't like any other woman. But it's received
Right.
like that sometimes. And right now, like a quick example is like I could give you the name of this hotel and everyone immediately know what it is. So I'm not gonna give you the name of the hotel, but this specific hotel in a foreign place in a district that's known for where tourists meet women,
Mm-hmm.
they were hiring a lot of American black women to work inside this hotel. And these women had a lot of animosity. And they would just be posted up with their uniforms, just dogging out all the men as they walk by. You know what I mean? So a
And
lot of that's there.
what were they doing? Just
So
working in
basically, they was
management or something?
hospitality, management, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, all the situations where it would be beneficial to have someone who spoke English. You know what I mean?
So they
This
were
specific
interacting with the
hotel,
clientele.
yes, and they were dogging them out to their face at the same time.
Wow. And
The
this is
sisters.
in Colombia?
It's in DR. And this specific
Oh.
hotel was owned by Americans, so they brought like a lot of American people to work in that hotel.
Oh,
You know what
that's
I mean?
because they can't trust the Dominicans.
Whatever they did, maybe they did it
No,
this way,
no,
maybe
it's
they did it
not.
that way. Whatever they did it, if it was about trust, it was about trust. I don't know why and what the reasoning was, but in my experience, what I saw was that these girls, they had it out. And they didn't give no fucks about no hospitality enough. And they was there dogging these dudes out as soon as they went by. You know, if you had an issue, you wasn't getting help with it. You was, you know what I mean? Getting
Mm,
swept under the rug. Like it was a conscious, like, fuck you a lot of times.
wow.
But hey, but what? Ron, watch this now. Watch this. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate on this.
Mm-hmm.
As a sister, as sisters who are
Mm-hmm.
saying who they get this job to go out there, they not really knowing what they're going off into. But when they go out there, they like, man, all these brothers out here, these sisters are saying, these are our men.
Mm-hmm.
We can't find our men because our men are out here. So deep down inside, these sisters are angry and frustrated because they can't find men. And here these chicks out here are taking their men. But watch this. Let's flip this on up, flip this over. You go into Colombia. You go into a particular restaurant in Colombia, you got 15, 20 brothers sitting there trying to figure out why no women in there. They trying to figure out, I'm an American, I'm down here in Colombian, I make 100,000 a year, I'm well off. Why no women in here?
Mm-hmm. Why?
Why?
Because they're not where the hoes are?
That's see, but then when the whores come there, as you say, the whores are saying, oh, these American men, 500,000 pesos for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're an American. That same chick will go down to other parts, go to her barrio, screw a guy for 20,000 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
But she's gonna charge you 500,000.
I had an issue with a dude about the same situation, bro. I had an issue because the dude, he was doing the same thing that you was talking about before. He was like, listen, y'all just being cheap. Y'all all broke boys, y'all pocket watching. You know, I give these girls X amount of money, you know what I mean? And I'm like, that's not really how much she charged. She was charging you. Now all of a sudden I'm a hater and I'm a broke boy. And he literally told me that that's because all the girls that I'm with are crackheads and broke because you can't get no girls for that amount of money. I bought this, I didn't bring him there, but I pointed him out to certain facilities where those the exact same girls, photos and everything, worked at those facilities during the day before he met up with them at night. And those facilities, the prices that he was talking about was significantly different. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like they really are like, oh, you American? Okay, cool. You know, this is what you're gonna do until you walk into a place and see her with a price on the wall and it's completely different.
Yeah. You know, I one time I was in my office and one of my friend girls called me. She said, hey, what you doing? I said, I'm in the office. She came by the office. She's like, my sister made 1,600,000 pesos last night. I said, what'd she do? She said she was with a Black American guy. She said, you want to meet my sister? She's up in the hotel sleep. I said, oh yeah, I'll meet your sister. I'm getting ready to leave anyway. Go grab something to eat. Okay, we went by the hotel, 3:00 in the afternoon, went into the room. Her sister's in the bed asleep with her homegirl. They both of them sleep. Wake up, start talking. She showed me 500, over 500. It was all US dollars. She said, I got this from one guy. I stayed overnight with him for $500. And on a 1 to 10, she's a 4.
Yeah.
3, 4, teeth cracked in her mouth, chubby. She got $500 US from one Black American guy. I said, 500. I said, man, they paying 500. They should be paying like 50,000 pesos. You know what let me tell you what she told me. She says, I'll get with you for 50,000. I'm like, no, I'm good. Me and your sister fit to roll to get something to eat. She was gonna tell me I can give her 50,000 pesos, but she hit this brother up for 1,600,000 pesos. This is the problem.
If you a guy who they know, like they know that you rooted in the culture, that you know what time it is, that you fluent in Spanish, that you know all the stuff, they ain't hiding nothing from you. They like, yeah, this is what happens. You know what I mean? This is what I did. And I'm sitting there like, you do your thing. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. You know what I mean? Like, you do your thing.
Ron, what Elijah just said is real important. Once you are insulated into their culture, the women would tell you information and tell you about things that and it will blow your mind. You don't know how many times chicks in Dominican Republic and Colombia to my face called Black American men stupid.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna pay me $200 US for 30 minutes? Bruto and stupido. And I'm like looking at that saying to myself, this is what I've been trying to tell these ignorant ass, incorrigible, and beyond reproach ass niggas.
Mm-hmm.
They laughing and talking about you. When you come into these countries, let me tell you a country you go into with your blue passport and you better hide it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not far from the United States. You go into Monterrey, Mexico with your blue passport on your shoulder, on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Your blue passport in Monterrey, Mexico is almost like, that shit. We don't need a, because in Monterrey, Mexico, is the industrial city in Mexico. Those Mexicans out there pushing Porsches.
Yeah. Oh, listen.
Elijah, have you been to? Go ahead.
Every country he mentioned: Mexico, Brazil, DR. Also, people think people in DR is all broke. Nah. Colombia. These are places where a lot of these people have a lot more money than the people that's going there. We looking at them like they broke. It ain't true. A lot of times
you were in Airbnbs that are owned by locals.
Yo, I know owners that ride around on the mopeds in Colombia, the mopeds, and they own several 4-story buildings. And the mentality is, you see a Colombian in this small little car or something, or Dominican, and it's small, they poor. I was in one part of Colombia, and me and a buddy of mine, and we met this Dominican guy, and I was talking to him. We were talking. He said, "Yeah, I'm down here doing this." I told my buddy, I said, "That guy got money." I said, "I don't know what he does, but his family has money." Well, how you know that? I said, "I lived in DR. That guy had that." People think that these Dominicans, let me say this. The only people that want to leave a country, really and truly, is the people that don't, not in every case, let me say that, not in every case, is people that don't really have a lot of money.
Yeah.
People in these countries, like when I was living in all the countries that I mentioned, especially Dominican Republic and especially Jamaica. Jamaicans on the weekend with money, they fly to Miami. They fly to Miami to party, or they fly to New York to party, and they come back Monday. And when they come back Monday, they have a driver.
Yeah.
Or somebody will pick them up. They don't cook. You wonder why a lot of these people, these foreigners, have these attitudes? Because a lot of them don't have to cook, don't have to clean. They got maids.
Yeah. And it's successful because in their country it's cheap.
Man, listen, there's some parts in Dominican Republic. Let me say this. The top-notch Dominican women, you and I, and 99.5% of Black American men are not even privy to.
Yep.
If you don't make $10 million a year playing baseball, or if you're not a big man that own a lot of those businesses, those building high rises out there, you don't even get to meet them.
Listen, if you think Dominicans are poor, go to Santo Domingo one day and go pull up outside the club. These people, it's like when you go to a club in Santo Domingo, they park all of the cars outside the front of the club.
So if you go there with a fancy car, they'll put it in front of the club so that everyone sees all the fancy cars. Yeah. You are going to see the whole block, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Bentley, like stacked up, 4 or 5 Ferraris, pat, right next to each other.
I've been over there and I've seen Ferrari over at the hospital.
Yeah,
I know there's money out there.
It's just a
perspective. Put that Porsche over there.
What I'm saying, so what we're saying is, your attitude and your money, you really don't. These people, and trust me, the wealthy people, they don't need to come to the U.S.
Yeah.
They go to Spain.
Yeah, they travel just like we do. And I mean, to point out that, like, I was having a talk with a female friend in America, a Black female who I have like as a friend. We cool, you know what I mean? And she was telling me like, yo, you need to be careful because, you know, all those girls, you know, they just want a visa, right? Which is common. I know that y'all probably hear a lot of that too. Like, yo, they just want to get you for your visa. I'm like, listen, hold on, let me explain something to you. I know you don't travel much. These girls who are really out there scamming, the visa is the last thing on their mind. Because the visa, when she marries you, means that her 5-6 income streams that she's posted up outside of Western Union getting money from every single day from 5 guys who think that that's their one girl is going to go narrow down to 1 income stream. That money that she's getting in New York ain't worth what it is out there. So telling her to come to America and come live with you is a huge downgrade in lifestyle.
Well, guess what? But you got some women that are not, well, a lot of them aren't smart enough to know that. They thinking that they need to come to America and live a better life.
Who said? Wait a minute. Says who? Elijah, let me piggyback.
About the scammers, you're not talking about the innocent, you know what I mean, girls that's just looking for opportunity.
Yeah, you talk about
the
the hoes.
professionals.
Okay.
I mean, the girl who I was speaking to, not necessarily even the hoes, just smarter ones, the girl who I was speaking to, she was saying that the girls are out there just to get the visas. And I'm saying the girls who are trying to get you ain't out to get the visas. Now, there are some girls who will get the visas, but the ones who are like who out here literally trying to scam people, that's not what they're looking for. They want your US dollars in their country where it's worth a lot more of it, and they can get 5 or 6 of you dumb niggas to send it all at the same time.
When she settles down to one dude and goes to live inside of your middle class apartment in America, where she don't got no maid, she ain't on the beach, she ain't living. Her rent don't cost $1,000 for no 3-bedroom apartment in no rich neighborhood. That's a downgrade. She living good over there. She don't want to come to America.
Exactly.
And to piggyback off that, you go to there's a grocery store in Dominican Republic. It's Plaza Lama and Lucerne. It's another part of the city. The 1st and the 15th of every month. The Western Union line is outside.
Bro, Western Union is the most popular thing in VR, bro.
Yeah, I went up there to Western Union to do something. And when I say the Dominican guys were dropping off the chicks to get in line to get that money from them dumb niggas sending it from abroad.
Yeah.
And they boyfriends were dropping them off.
Yeah.
And waiting outside.
See, you taking words out of my mouth now. I was just about to say that. That's the boyfriends dropping them off. I ain't no taxi.
Yeah.
Yo, let me tell you something. I met a guy from Jersey in Dominican Republic. He had a plumbing business, a plumbing supply, heating and whatever. So he was down there, pretty much retired. His kids is running the business and anything like that. And he had a hair salon. Let me tell you, they got him. Some chick got with him and was staying at his apartment. Next you know, she claiming she pregnant, which they got into a fight. He had to leave. And then the courts told him he had to pay child support. And the child wasn't even born. And she moved in her real man. She moved in her real man.
But you know what? I guarantee you that child is that child is the boyfriend's, not his.
Yeah.
They did a test. This was like 2000, like 9 years ago. They did a test.
I think I know where you're going.
That they did a test that 90% of the Dominican women that say they are pregnant by American men, 90% of the tests were negative.
Yep.
90% of this, and this was 2000.
For a second, because you know that study was a multinational study, right? And you know the top 3. Yeah, basically what they was doing was they took the numbers from
the people who are filing for visas. So if you were an American and you had a child and you want to claim your child, they would have to do the paternity test. Yeah. Prior to that, there's no reason to do that, and that girl's probably not going to be okay with you doing it. She go get it, give you that too. But in order to for you to file for that child, you need to do that paternity test,
and that's where the cat got out of the bag. The 3 countries was Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and another one. I think it was Bahamas, but I don't want to say for sure. But it was Jamaica and Dominican Republic were the top 2. And in Jamaica, they're doing a lot of reform and changing the laws right now because of that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that guy, that the courts made him pay child support because they were. You said they were living together, right?
Yeah, she was staying at his apartment. Yes.
How long were they together?
I have no idea.
Let me say this: it must wasn't past 5 years, because if it was 5 years, he would have to pay her alimony. And trust me, he's not leaving that island until he signs something saying, "I'm paying this much in child support and this much in alimony." Because I had one of my friend girls that I was kicking it with in Dominican Republic. She said to me one day, I've known her for like 4 years, 4.5 years. She says to me, Ron, I can help you do some stuff here, but you have to sign this paperwork saying that I've been living with you for over 4 or 5 years,
Oh
and I
wow.
can help you with your residency or something like that she was talking
Uh-huh.
about. And I said, she didn't know I knew
Yeah.
because I'm not a dumb nigga.
Uh-huh.
And I study and I research and I read and I pay attention. I'll say something later. And so when I told her, I said, no, if I sign that, I'm gonna have to pay you alimony. The courts are gonna make, if I'm in this country, when you take that to the consulate, when I get ready to leave, they're gonna block me from leaving
Mm-hmm.
until I sign an agreement saying that I have to pay you $100, $200 a month for
Yeah.
alimony. When I said that, she looked at me like, what the fuck, this nigga? Because you watch too much TV and you think all niggas are stupid. No. And she didn't know I knew. And a lot of guys to this day don't know.
Oh yeah.
They do not know that.
Let me tell you something. I had guys tell me that oh, they ain't worried about getting no girl down there pregnant and everything. They ain't gonna have to pay no child support. Which is she gotta come and get me. I'm like, really?
Who gonna have
Okay.
to get you?
Depends on what state you live in. It depends on what state you live in. There's, first of all, anybody in the United States is fair game for child support from a lot of other countries, specifically the Dominican Republic. There's a few states that have direct partnerships with the Dominican Republic. So she can file from the Dominican Republic. They'll extradite her filing to the United States. She won't have to move or do anything. They're gonna get your money in the United States and send that shit to her. Like New Jersey, for one of those, has that treaty with the Dominican Republic, but it's on a state level. But yeah, New Jersey, yeah, they have that treaty with the Dominican Republic. A lot of states have individual treaties. If she's in Dominican Republic, she claims child support, they taking all that information. She ain't got to do nothing. In the other states, all she has to do is get an American lawyer. And there's tons of American Dominican lawyers and tons of American lawyers that'll do that for free. Because at that point, the only thing that's in her way is paying the fees. So if she's smart enough to contact a lawyer in the United States, she will get that child support extradited.
Oh, let me tell you something. They were having seminars at each other's houses down there, which are discussing exactly how to get you.
No, Ron. It's not seminars at each other's houses. They have sisters and family members here in the States that know the laws.
Okay.
Oh, so you know how many of them you know how many of them get married and come over here, take out a whole bunch of loans in their husband's name, and then just dip?
Yeah.
You married. Your debt is her debt. She get married. There's girls out there that I know, real stories, right? Dominican guys, who just happen to be like born in America, because they'll get them too. Gets girls or makes deals with girls in the country. Girl in the country wants a visa. She knows that has a friend or somebody who's in America, and they gonna pretend that they together so that they can get her a visa. She's gonna break him off with some money. So she'll break him off with maybe 10,000 American dollars. You know what I mean? He'll live in somewhere in America. He'll take that money. He'll pretend to be her husband or whatever, and then get her visa saying she comes to America. When she's in America, she gonna take out a loan for 100 racks.
In his name?
And beat the pat in his name. They married. They're married now. My debt is your debt. We're married. My debt is your debt. She's gonna take that loan out and she's gonna beat the pat with 100,000 of this dude's dollars. Like there's so many dirty tricks out there. I've seen a ton of them.
That's a dirty one. There's so many of them. So these chicks not as dumb as a lot of these guys make them out to be. They dumb. No, these not. No, they're not. They just, and they talking about leaving the matrix. You leave the U.S. matrix. When you go abroad, you're going from a U.S. matrix to a Brazilian matrix, Colombian, Thai, all of these countries are matrix. Because if it wasn't, the whole world wouldn't have shut down during COVID. So they're all matrix.
Oh yeah.
So you have to just right. So the best thing for brothers to do, which they're not gonna do, they have to, just some of the information we're giving out. A lot of these guys don't even know. They have no idea what we're talking about.
They don't know that shit. This is what they should be telling them.
But the guys that so-called leading or with the YouTube channels, and they don't even know this stuff.
Pretty much what you're saying is the simple term is the grass is not greener on the other side.
I don't know, but to be clear, like I said, it can make you or break you. So let me break this down for you. Let me give you an example. So a lot of you probably heard of Andrew Tate, right? Y'all know who Andrew Tate is?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask Andrew Tate why he lives in Romania. And I think the example that he gave is a perfect, analogy to understand, how you should really move overseas. So he says, the reason why I live in Romania is because it's corrupted, yeah, like everyone else is, like every other country is, but the corruption in Romania is available to me. So his example was, if you're in the United States, right, and you get pulled over, maybe you have a bad license or some liquor on you, whatever it is, you know what I mean? They can take you to jail and completely destroy your life because that corruption is not accessible to you. But if you happen to be a politician or president's son, you could sniff crack rocks, you can get caught with whatever, and nothing's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
So he's pointing out that every country has a level of corruption. The issue is that in the United States, that level of corruption is not available to you. Whereas in Romania or another country, you get caught with drinking or driving, you get caught with a bad license or whatever, you can give that person or that cop $20, $40, $50 and they'll leave you alone. So the corruption in that country is accessible to you. And I think that's the best way to do it. So it's not like you're automatically screwed if you can be smart about it. Because people who got brothers who were coming, like South Americans, other countries, if they were really smart about what they was doing, they could understand what they can and can't do, or at least learn what they can and can't do, and then they can use it to their benefit. You know what I mean?
But they won't listen. They won't stop talking long enough, or they won't stop chasing whores long enough to sit down and get the information.
Exactly.
Because the whole conversation, if it ain't a ball, it's whores. That's it. No information. Listen.
The accessibility to stuff that you have in South America and these other countries that you go to, not just on like a corruption level, but it's not just like, oh, I want to get away with crimes. It's like accessibility to everything. Accessibility to business opportunities that were out of your reach in the United States. Accessibility to high-level people who you ain't gonna rub shoulders with in the United States. You know what I mean? Like accessibility is something you see advantage. So it can make you or break you. You could come here and do real good, or you could come here and never end up going back home. Just go home in a box.
Yeah. Real quick and real easy. If you associate yourself with the wrong people. So many brothers getting robbed, drugged, heart attacks. And like one of the young ladies told me, Black American men sniff a lot of coke. I said, I have nothing to do. There's a couple of chicks to me in DR and in Colombia. They sniff a lot of coke. I said, I don't partake in that. Let me tell you how bad it has gotten. That when I want substance, when I want information, when I want to be mentally stimulated, I'll go find clubs and restaurants and bars where there's white boys. And they sitting around and they networking and they talking about the new project is getting ready to take place somewhere.
Yeah.
How they invested in it, how they doing in it. I'm not saying that they don't have a lower side, but when they sit down in restaurants and bars, they networking and talking about business, or I've never been around them when they talk about sports. So when I want substance, I go around them. When I don't feel like being stimulated, or when I just want pure straight niggerdom and horse shit, I go around us. That's how bad it is. Man, I don't feel like thinking today. Let me go to a black restaurant. I don't have to think. I can bullshit, talk shit, talk loud. No substance. Go where we are. That's how bad it is for me. Go where we are. So if you see me in any country around us, it's because my mentality is I don't want to think. That's bad, isn't it? But when I want to think, like right now, I have a friend girl, one of my exes. She's Colombian. She works for the bank doing loans. I can't even tell the brothers hey man, you can buy or you such and such, ain't not interested in no business. 15 years ago, I was trying to tell brothers, hey man, all these countries that we love, this was like 15, 20 years, 2010, 2011, what's that, 12, 13 years? I said, man, all the countries that we go to, why we don't own nothing? We should be owning. Everywhere we go, we're supposed to have a community there. You even when you go off into Santo Domingo, there's a part of Santo Domingo where it's called Little Haiti in Santo Domingo. And on the Malecon, when you go past the Condic, there's an area off of, what is that, Duarte? And right before you get to Mexico, it's Little Haiti. You see a Little Haiti in Miami.
They got a Haitian neighborhood in Brazil.
They do?
They got a Japanese, yeah. They got a Japanese neighborhood in Brazil.
That's the second largest concentration of Japanese people outside of Japan.
That's some good information.
Yeah.
I know I was looking at somewhere documentary, they said Lebanese too. There's a Lebanese community in Brazil, and one of the presidents was like half Lebanese or something. I was looking at a documentary on that.
You know, there's a Confederate community in Brazil.
A what community? I didn't hear.
Confederate?
Yes.
In Brazil?
Yes.
And you mean Confederate as what? Explain.
As in the Confederate South?
The South, yeah.
You was talking about that yesterday, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
Oh, so you know about it.
Okay. Watch this.
No. We were talking about the one in Canada.
Yeah. Okay. Now, let me tell you another one that when you go there, you're going to see it's in Boca del Toro, Panama. You fly into Panama City. I took a flight 45 minutes from Panama City to Boca del Toro. And got there, everybody looked at me like, they knew I wasn't from there because they black, there are people there too. A lot of blacks, but they just knew you're not us black. So when I went off into the rooms was like $5, $7, and $9 and $11 for rooms. If you want air, $11. Now this is when I went into one bar. When I say, I'm talking about redneck military, U.S. military redneck, arms look like pythons. Then you go over here on the other side bar. This is a German bar. All Germans. Like, God damn. Then you go to this other bar, Irish. Like, what the? In Boca del Toro, Panama. That goes back to they sitting down there and you see them just drinking like that. I'm like, what the hell is in Boca del Toro? The grocery store, you got to get on the boat and go out to the water. The grocery store's on the water.
So they out there retired or something?
It must be.
They getting a pension, they getting a check for somewhere. They just out there chilling and drinking and whatever.
Hey man, it's $5, $6, $7 a night.
Yeah.
For the hotel stay. $5, $7, $8 times 30 is $240. But they have apartments.
Yeah.
And you're telling an apartment might be $120.
Exactly.
But watch this.
Month.
You get on a boat, you can take a boat 20, 30 minutes, and you get to the mainland of Panama, going to Costa Rica. As a matter of fact, it's like you once you get to the mainland, it's like a mile out is you go into Costa Rica, where we were. And then it had San Cristobal Island that was there. Yeah, man, I was like, wow, man, I was there for like a week. I went there, I was like, wow, it was really interesting. So, but you know, if we don't understand community, we don't understand code of conduct. You try to give brothers information, they don't get it. So it's just, you know, I'm just to the point now, like I said, man, when you see me in a black-owned business, restaurant, bar, it's because I'm dealing with the lower knowledge of myself. I don't have to think. I can talk loud. I can be hood because that's how they know. But when I want to find out some information on the fact that, wait a minute, Monsanto bought some land in Colombia in the hills. When did they do this? Yeah, they bought this land. They bought all this crop land over 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Monsanto, yeah. See, that information you don't get from us.
Nope.
You get LeBron James nigga shit, basketball, football nigga shit, or that whole.
Yes.
But you go over there, you figure out, hey, you in business. Why don't you go down to, let me give you the information. Hey, they giving me the information. They're not trying to ask me about a consultation. They don't want me to pay for $300-400 for a consultation. Here's the information. This is where you go. If you do this down there, this is the place. Go down there, ask them, tell them what you want to do. This is in Rio Negro. Ask them down there. Or hey, Ron, why don't you go to La Romana and Dominican Republic, and you can buy a lot of stuff there to wholesale. This is free information from non-Black Americans. When I get around Black Americans, the nigga want a consultation fee.
They give you bullshit.
They got a lot less information. There you go. They don't.
The people you don't have information. Go ahead.
The people who really got the information, they're happy to share it with you just so they have another person who understands what's going on. You know what I mean? They're looking for partners. You know what I mean? The people who's out here really trying to sell you information, they really don't have much information to sell.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have my consultation. Normally, I don't give information. My consultation, you can book a consultation with me, nigga. If you got the information, it means the world got it.
You know, that's like this though.
Go ahead.
That's like what said, but this thing goes that same thing. Like I said earlier, everybody's doing it. Robert Kiyosaki. You know what I'm saying? When he does his seminars and shit. I mean, how much can this motherfucker tell you? He's talking about financing, which of you go ahead and you have your company and everything like that. You borrow money, you're debt, you live off the loan and everything, and you buy real assets. Man, he's out there and he's got a whole team of motherfuckers getting you, saying, yo, pay for this and that and everything like that. People bringing out 8 credit cards just to pay for the program, and they ain't never gonna get nowhere with it. They got like, $300 credit cards or something like that, $500, and they're just maxing out everything. So
and that's Robert Kiyosaki. That's Robert. I hate to cut you off. That's Robert Kiyosaki and the people that follow him. We're talking about passport brothers and Black American men that are trying to sell information. They're trying to sell information that they don't have.
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki, a businessman in business.
Yeah, he proven himself.
A published author. You know what I mean? He has these credentials. You can't really, shape what Robert Kiyosaki saying. If Robert Kiyosaki says he's a consultant, he could show you a resume, a
portfolio.
All his accolades, why it's a good idea that you should give him money to do it. And if you don't give him money, a million other motherfuckers will, because he got shit to show and prove why he should get that shit.
As we're over here on this side.
He's in business. He ain't calling nobody up like, yo, you my brother. Give me some money. Nah.
Yeah, you over here on this side. You can't even raise. You can't even raise money to buy a $60,000 apartment to rent out.
Let me tell you something. I don't see
Hold
why.
on, wait a minute, Ron. Let me say this. You can own and finance that motherfucker and lease it out.
If you knew how to do it.
In Dominican Republic, you can own and finance. So what you're doing is you're going out to these countries. We go out to these countries with this Airbnb crap. We don't even own it, and we market it and advertise it for people. Why don't you get the money together from all these people and buy something? When I had bought that first property out there, Ron, I owned and financed it in Sasua. I owned and financed it. Why don't you own and finance it? We don't have, everywhere we go, we don't have anything. But like I said, there are some brothers. I'm not saying all. I'm just saying 98%. There's a few brothers that's out here that is really doing something. And if you talk to them, they'll give you some information. But I know some, they ain't telling you nothing. And man, I'm buying land. Would you buying land? Where you landing? I'm up here on the coast buying land. Well, where's the information on this land? Oh man, it's plenty for everybody. Okay, but where's the information? Don't want to give you the information. They don't want to give you the information.
No.
Oh man, it's plenty for everybody.
I can't have.
You gotta have it.
You gotta have a plug. About the ratio that you said, I don't even have a problem with it being 98% of the dudes that's not doing things. But let the 2%
that's doing something be the passport bros.
Let them get on YouTube and give people information. And if they want to
give consultation, let them consult. You know what I mean?
You don't consult over someplace you took 2 trips.
But the 2%, like and I know some of them, they don't want to be bothered. They too busy.
doing something.
Yeah,
but they don't have time.
I agree, because a lot of times I feel like I don't have time. You don't have time. I mean, the dudes who we met mutually, they don't have time. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that's who has those pearls that needs to be shared. You know what I mean?
Like, but here's the thing. Another thing is, you can't even, the majority of the brothers, you can't even talk business to them.
Yeah.
You don't waste in your time. They come to these business. I remember one time I was in Sasua, and I was getting ready to leave, and I actually rented my spot out for like 4 months to this lady. So I'm like, okay, well, I booked it out. I said, let me go ahead and go to the airport, get back to to the States. And I went to buy this Jamaican restaurant in Sasua on the back road, and there was this building right in front of his restaurant. It's like 2 or 3 stories. It had for sale, for lease, for rent in English. And it was like 2 or 3 brothers standing up in front of the building, looking across the street at some hoes, and was like, oh yeah, hell, the one in that blue, hell, I can sure get with that. And I looked up at the building in front of them, nigga. I was like, nigga, this is you know what you can do with that? That's a 2 or 3 story building right in front. And I got on the moped, because when I get to these countries, especially like DR, Sasua, I got a buddy with a moped, man. He picked me up from the airport on a moped. Come on, man. With a backpack. That's how I roll.
You ride all the way from the airport to
Sasua? From Sasua to
you talking about the one over there, that airport. I got you.
But in Santo Domingo, you can't do that,
Yeah.
In Santo Domingo, you can't do it.
I started thinking about Santo Domingo and anything like that, and I was like,
yeah, it's bigger, but in Sasua, Puerto Plata, I'm like, hey man, pick me up. He pick me up on a motorcycle. I come out of the airport, I go to the bank. In every bank, in every airport, in the Dominican Republic, there's a bank reserver. First thing I do, I go to the bank, I exchange cash for pesos. You get the highest rate at the bank. You tell the niggas inside, hey man, you such and such at the bank. Man, they look at you like, man, nigga trying to set me up. Yeah, you stupid motherfucker, I'm trying to set you up. Every bank, bro, I'm trying to tell you, every airport in Dominican Republic has a bank reserver. Take your money, exchange your money at the bank. They're gonna give you the highest rate, you shiftless niggas. You useless eaters. And when you're getting ready to leave, you take your pesos back there to the bank reserver and they'll change it back.
Yeah.
I stopped talking to them useless niggas. I just go do it.
There are certain
bank accounts and certain cards that'll lock your exchange rates. You know what I mean? So for example, Charles Schwab, they lock your exchange rate. So wherever you go in, they decide what the exchange rate is. So whatever they sell in that machine, it doesn't matter what's going on in the machine. Charles Schwab is deciding your exchange rate, and they refund you all fees. So you just go up to an ATM, pull the money out, you're going to get the best exchange rate because it's set by Charles Schwab in the United States, not where you are. And then they're going to refund whatever fees they give you. So a lot of times if they try to hit you with some crazy foreign transaction fees or whatever, you get all that back.
Nice.
See, but I have a bank account at Bank Reserve.
Yes, you can just transfer it.
I have a bank account down there too.
Yes, to this day I have a bank account and bank reserve. So and then when I get ready to leave, whatever pesos I have, I don't change it in for cash. I deposit it.
Yeah.
I deposit the money, and when I go back down there, and sometimes every now and then I'll send a little change down there from my like my PayPal Zoom. I'll send some money to my bank account and bank reserve. So when I'm there, I'm like, okay, well, let me go to DR. I got some change. I can go hang out down there if I want to. I got some money in the bank.
Yeah.
Some money in the bank. So like when I go, I exchange money at the airport. And when I go back, I deposit it.
Maybe we should be doing we should go into like having some topics on traveling abroad and everything like that, and maybe some good ways of doing it. Which I guess like the Charles Schwab and everything like that. I've never heard of that one.
But you know what?
Charles Schwab is a brokerage. It's actually designed for people who trade stock, which I'll probably advise the people to do that also with Charles Schwab. It's a real good platform for that also.
Is that what you're doing for a living down there?
Cool. Well, no, I don't trade stock for a living, but I do use it, because I can go anywhere in the world and, I have that same, refunded fees and locked exchange rates. Yeah. So I don't have to deal with anybody, trying to get me on exchange fees, because that's a huge scam overseas. Almost every country you go to, somebody's going to try and scam you over some exchange fees in one way or another.
Well, you know what? You're just talking some rich guy shit right now. But you're
really. To be honest with you, it's like it's not even like a rich guy thing, because
it's anyone who tells you pay me in dollars.
If you go to a country and dollars are not their
shared currency, if you go to Panama and someone tells you to pay them in dollars, that's completely normal. If you go to the Dominican Republic and someone tells you to pay them in dollars, they're fucking you.
Right. Right.
They're fucking you.
Because you got to think to yourself for a second. I think you put yourself on mute. But because you got to think to yourself for a second. If I give you dollars, you got to go and exchange these dollars to your local currency, in which you're going to get a fee for. So it's literally completely irrational for you to ask me for a currency that you don't use in this country that you're going to have to exchange and eat a fee for. So inevitably, like I can't think of a scenario where it's not going to be a scam.
And they're going to do it to everybody.
You know what? When I go, I got to go to DR in a couple of weeks. When I go to the bank, I'm gonna see what the exchange rate is at the bank, and I'm gonna see what the exchange rate is, like that day, see if it's higher or lower, and then you can find out from Charles Schwab. You can find out at whatever the rate. You said, well, they're gonna give you the highest rate, because I've always found I always did it at the bank, because I noticed the bank always have the highest fees, not the
There's an app called XE, the letters XE. Download the XE app. It's free. You can put in all the countries you go to and translate currencies into all different countries, like all at once.
So wherever you want to do, you can translate that.
That's a good app. It's useful. I use it a lot.
Now you see that? You don't even get that in the groups. That's this type of information. You don't get this.
They're gonna tell you is it good? Is it better talking to a Haitian chick in the Dominican Republic or a Dominican, a Spanish chick in the Dominican Republic? Which one's better?
Which one is it? Is it better? You just saying what they talk about?
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. That's what's important. Who's giving it up right?
Hey, you know what? You say that, but let me go ahead.
This corny thing that they used to do a lot of the dudes who, they're afraid of going back to the United States and getting a lot of flack from black women for dealing with Latinas overseas. They were doing this for a long time, and it was so corny. They come to the Dominican Republic, they post up with some Haitian girls and
take a bunch of pictures and post them on the internet, and then they just go off with the Latina girls after. Like they felt the need to go and post up these pictures of Haitian girls so they could send back home and be like, see, yeah, I'm overseas, but I'm still dating black girls. But they wasn't really with those girls. They just did a photo op. And I'm like, why you care about somebody else's opinion?
That's some serious that's some serious insecurity you saying there, brother. I wouldn't give a fuck.
A lot of weird stuff overseas.
I could care less.
A lot of weird stuff overseas. A lot of weird
stuff.
I'm just not gonna post no picture of no ugly chick.
But these guys, because they want to
So that'll be
maintain an
fine.
image and they want to maintain some sort of they want to maintain relationships with the black woman in America. They don't want to get dogged out by their cousins and sisters. They post these Haitian girls so they can go back and say, "Oh, I'm over here with black girls," because they're gonna hear, "Oh, you just want these Spanish girls," and they're like, "No, no, no, I was over here with black girls." You took a picture with a black girl. You took a picture with a Haitian girl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the other girls you was with was Dominican. But I was like, you really feel the need to do that? Like that's corny as hell.
Yo, that's
I
like
just
that is a group that I could give a fuck less what they think about me. I mean, I can't name how many times I go around and they look at me, some of these members of that group, and say, "Oh, you ain't from around here. You ain't like us."
one time I went to the border of Haiti and the DR. It was like my friend girl was from Barahona, so we went down there. Then we went over to like it's two cities over. It was at the border, and I seen it a lot. And where I was staying in Lusana, a lot of the white guys with Haitian women, but I saw it more at the border town. And then it dawned on me what was happening. The Haitian chicks at the border with their husbands' boyfriends, these chicks were intelligent sisters, spoke 3 languages. Most of them didn't even speak Spanish because they never been in DR. They didn't need to speak Spanish. They speak French, Creole, and English, and were speaking better English than me. I'm talking about some beautiful, beautiful, fine Haitian sisters. They were we were sitting at the bar, and her and her white husband's conversation was if I'm Haitian or if I'm an American. She said, I'm Haitian. He said, he's an American. She's like, no, he's Haitian. He's like, nah. I heard the whole conversation. Then what I found out was after talking to her, and just for a while, we were there for a minute, after talking to her, I found out that, you know what? We've been duped. What these white guys have done, you black American men, you take all these high yellow pretty girls, you take them that speak Spanish. We're gonna go over here to have no career, no job, probably in school, she say. We're going over here to Haiti. We're getting these beautiful black women that y'all don't want, that speak French, Creole, English, that are nurses, engineers, doctors, pharmacists, scientists, biologists, chemists. They have businesses. Y'all take these Dominicans. Y'all can have them. And it's nothing like being in Dominican and you see a white boy with a Haitian and watch the Dominican chick's face ball up. The fact that why is this white man with that ugly bitch?
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you? You see, I've seen that so much.
It's like it causes a rift a lot of times because a lot of times they'll just say that, oh well, they go with the Haitian girls because they're less money and a lot of stuff. Which I mean, it could be true sometimes. It could not be true, but it's clearly like some animosity there when they're like, like you came over here and that could be an opportunity for me, but you went with the Haitian girl instead. Like there is animosity there.
Yeah, well, what I see is I'm pretty. I'm high yellow. My eyes are green. My eyes are hazel. I'm fine, and my hair is long, and she's black. She's ugly. Why you with her and not me?
That's the Spaniard, sir.
That's the attitude that I've seen from them.
They don't know that they black.
One time I was in Condit, this restaurant Condit, with one of the chicks I was dating. And in the States, y'all know in the States, sometimes growing up, how I grew up, you see a little boy, you flip him a quarter, a little dollar, you talk to the little boy. But this little Haitian chick was sitting inside of this restaurant with her son. I turned around and I gave him some type of peso. I forgot what it was. And when I turned around, that chick I was dating, her eyes was like red and her fangs come out. Like, don't give him nothing. Don't get a little boy a quarter.
I'll be right
don't
back.
Get a little boy.
Give me a minute. I'll be right back. All right. Y'all continue talking.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah, but she was like, don't give the boy didn't even want me to get a little boy a peso, 50 peso. Mm-hmm. Because how I grew up, we used to give a little boy, hey, little boy, here, flip a quarter at him, they catch it. Thank you, sir. She got mad because I gave the son, the little boy. But watch this, here's the kicker. That little Haitian chick was fine and beautiful. And she was waiting for a white guy. So I don't know which one she was really mad about. Were you really mad about that this Haitian chick got the white boy, or you were mad because I gave him a peso?
Yeah.
Which one are you really mad about? And I go with the fact that you were mad that you weren't with that white boy. That's Dominican Republic. They would prefer really to be with white boys. There's not one chick that I've been with in DR that when I was with her, she had her tubes tied. She didn't want to get pregnant. Right now, every last one of those chicks done had a baby by a Dominican guy. Every last one. So you as a dark man in Dominican Republic, you're there to help me get by in life until I find that white knight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If he ain't a white knight, make sure he a high yellow knight. Every last chick, one chick told me, my number one told me her tubes were tied. She couldn't have kids. When I left DR, 2 years later, she done had another baby. And I was kicking it with her for 5-6 years.
Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of that too. It's like, but I mean, it all depends on the perspective you're looking at it, because a lot of situations, like there's some girls who like black guys, but I would say that the majority of them are looking for white guys. But on the same token, like you said, she's not treating the white guy, the white gringo, the same way she treats her local Dominican boyfriend. You know what I mean? So this white guy, she's gonna run to this white guy. She's gonna praise this white guy, which they do a lot. You know what I mean? But at the same time, she's expecting something from that white guy. You know what I mean? Right. He gotta break something off. He gotta meet up his expectations. You know what I mean? So it's like, visually, it's gonna look like they run into him, but at the same time, the white guy's actually getting a raw deal on the same token. Right? Like she's actually this guy.
I enjoy my travel. I have no regrets. So I've done a lot, seen a lot, but I just think that what's the passport brother situation is horrible, bro. It's horrible, and I try to keep my distance. And I know when Ron get back, we're supposed to have a conversation on code of conduct, and that's a little bit more in depth. Because it's like I said, man, from my experience, it's embarrassing. We all have different experiences. We have different cliques that we hang with, so we see different things. But I just kind of keep my distance, man. I got some stories. We got a lot of stories, bro.
To be honest, I think it's really a case of you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? They don't know what they don't know. And you know what I mean?
No,
maybe in like 10 years, if they was really like traveling like that and they really got more experience, and they probably be like, oh yeah, the stuff I said, you know what I mean, a year ago or 2-3 years ago, that was really some dumb shit. You know what I mean? But you don't know what you don't know until you know. You know.
But something somewhere in your thought process, in your brain computer should tell you that something's not right what you're doing. Something's not right. But if you're not,
everybody has to do it. And like I told you, we had like personal conversations offline about this. You know what I mean? And I was telling you, it's a certain type of guy that's doing it because, like I told you, a lot of these guys they came into these Facebook groups and they came into these WhatsApp groups, and they were like newbies and they were brand new. And they was asking for information, which they got for free.
Right.
And
within
6 months,
within 6 months, they got a YouTube and an Instagram up. You know what I mean? So it's a certain type of person. Like I know there's got to be something wrong. Like I get what you're saying. You're saying there's something's off. Like doing that. You know what I mean? I definitely agree with that because they was around people from all different varying ages and all the varying experience levels who they came to information and they got support information. It's a certain type of person who says, okay, you know what I mean? I'm gonna paint myself as like some expert, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna start G'ing people out of money to give up this information I barely know myself. Like you know what I mean? And I don't like how they try to paint it as if it's like some entrepreneurial business shit. Because, like you said, it's not business when you over here talking this brotherhood shit. Like, people, you're not, you know what I mean? Like, you're not, if you want to do business, you have to compete with the other people who have straight up businesses, and that would be something that you don't want to do. So you're trying to basically cannibalize your own crowd. You're cannibalizing your own people, and you're selling them bullshit under the banner of brotherhood.
Exactly. You can go off of it's called travel off path. Travel off path, traveloffpath.com. You go on that website, any country you could think of is on that site. And it's tell you about how to enter, things to do, the currency, the economy, politics, travel off site. But of course, it's a white site, so there's no consultation. No fucking.
I'm not gonna lie.
Consultation.
When I first started out, I did go on a lot of those sites. Like when I first started out, you know what I mean? I had a lot of information from those sites, a lot more than I got from the brotherhood.
Yeah,
I did get.
Yeah, but so this travel off site, you travel off path site. You can Dominican Republic, things to do. You can go on there, but like I said, this is white people who know how to monetize from advertising instead of acting desperate and hungry for money off the people that's looking for information.
DR1.
The marketing, the advertising. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying DR1 was a website that I used a lot.
So yes, DR1 is right. Yep, that's a good one. There's a lot of information, and I get there's some Colombian sites too. I got to go look up the names. I got up into some Colombian groups, and a couple other sites on Instagram popped up with the current news and situations there. And I still even keep up with what's going on in Jamaica. The news article, the Observer, the Gleaner, the Loop, the 1867, and I get information. I'm like, man, God, 3 chicks got killed. And YouTube influencer just got found. They pulled her out of the ocean this morning.
Saw that last night. Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
In Jamaica, this YouTube. I'm gonna send you the I'm gonna send you the chick Instagram. Huh?
Yeah, her name is Slickiana.
What is it again?
Slickiana.
As a matter of fact, let me go off into my.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you that. I'm gonna send you the link. This one is Anika Townsend. Let me send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. Damn.
Speaking about getting that information, I'm like a story. I remember, like when I was still like messing around with a lot of these groups, but I wasn't really that all involved in it. It was a guy who reached out to me. You know what I mean? And he was a new traveler. He didn't have any information, but he was reaching out to the people inside the group. And at the time, I was telling him that, I don't really get involved in a lot of stuff that everybody's doing at the time. I was kind of just there, for a few people, and I didn't want to make people feel like I abandoned them. So that's why I was still in the group, because I had friends I didn't want to feel like, I was abandoning them by leaving the group.
Right.
But the dude reached out to me, and, I was in Brazil, and he was in Brazil, you know what I mean? And then he was telling me, man, I need your help. I'm stuck. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, this gotta be some sort of scam. You know what I mean? And then he told me, when I came out here, before I came, I was reaching out to people in the group, and then a couple of dudes, certain people I'm not gonna mention, these passport bros on YouTube, he said these dudes, like, they told me they was gonna help me out, give me information, meet up with me, show me around. You know what I mean? But when I got here, they said I had to pay them $500 and come to meet them at their event, or else they wasn't going to be up in me. He's like, yo, I didn't give him the money, but I'm stuck and I need some information because I don't know how to get around out here. And at the time, like I said, I wasn't trying to meet up with new people, but because he sent me that message, I met up with the dude. You know, I mean, he chilled out. He's a great dude. I introduced him to the person who introduced us together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we was running around in Brazil, and I showed him around just because I felt really bad that there's guys out here that's just like, you know, they're getting let on like that to the point where you gonna get up and go to another country. He probably sees YouTube videos and stuff like that. He saw funny games. He was stuck in another country with people who thought was going, you know, show him around and have him back. And then they hit him with, yo, we want $500.
But watch this. All in the name of brotherhood.
Let me ask you something. Is this the girl you're talking about right here?
I just sent her to your no. No, this was I sent you the link, the Instagram link.
I'm looking at it if it's the same girl. Yeah, that's the same girl. Look, click your link. Click your link and look at the name. Look at her ID name. Click the link and look at her name.
With the girl I showed you, the white girl?
No, it's not her.
Sent me the link. Yeah, he sent me the link. I'm telling him, like, look at the name. Yeah, her name is Slickiana. I don't know what she did. I don't know who she pissed off.
Right.
But they found a bullet hole in her head, and they found a floater in the river last night or this morning.
Let me tell you something. There was years ago in Guyana, there was a chick that you know, she's Guyanese, but she's living in America. She married a Guyanese. So, you know, she was up to trying to do her thing. She went to buy a car down there, and pretty much her new husband was like, yo, why is it this chick taking me to America? You know? Yo, you know, this dude went and got some 2 other dudes and everything, and they went ahead and like took her and chopped her up. Her torso was found floating in the ocean. And that was
this is in Guyana.
In Guyana.
What was that for? Was that just like a jealousy situation?
He was like, because she wasn't moving fast enough to bring him to America. She was more seemed to be focused on setting herself up in Guyana, and he's like, I don't want to be here. I want to go to America. You need to take me to America, you know?
Because she had already got her papers and stuff to go there.
Well, I guess he's already sold on the idea that he was going to come to America, and it seemed like she was dragging her feet,
holding back, yeah.
Right.
And focusing on buying a car down there and everything like that, and getting a place and everything like that, you know. So so murdered her and everything, and then it was like he was a black guy, and then there was 2 coolie guys, and the coolie guys couldn't take it and everything like that, and they snitched, and they all 3 of them got locked away.
Everybody went down.
But you know what?
Similar story that happened in DR. Go ahead. I'm gonna tell you a story after.
Go ahead.
All right. So the story that happened in DR. Y'all probably heard about the story. It was really big. This guy who was in New York, he won the lottery. He was a Dominican guy, but he lived in New York. I don't know if he was born in America, but he was straight up Dominican. Whole family in DR, ties to the country. He's as Dominican as anybody outside the country who's still Dominican could be, right? He wins the lottery. He opens up a rental business with the money from the lottery. So that's his business right now. He's renting cars. He has that rental business that's generating his income. He goes to DR and he has a girlfriend in DR. He gets her pregnant. You know, she's pregnant with his kid, right? She, after hearing that he has all this money, won the lottery, and he has his business generating money, starts to plot on this dude.
She starts what?
She plot on him.
Okay.
Baby daddy who won the lottery and opened up a car rental business back in the States.
Mm-hmm.
He's still coming back to DR to meet her. Mm-hmm. He's still dating her. That's baby mom's, or she's pregnant with his kid, right?
Yeah.
She hires her brother to murder him and make it seem like it's a mistake, or make it seem like she had nothing to do with it. So he drives with her in the car up to their house in DR where the brother's waiting for him. The brother pulls out the gun and shoots him inside the car. And she's jumping out the car, acting all hysteric, and then the guy runs away. Now, I don't know if they thought it was a good plan, but it was all caught on video, and it looked fake as fuck. It was clear as day that it was a setup. And they both went down. So it's the same situation. One person lost their life, two people ruined their life. That kid, I don't know what's happening, maybe because supposedly she was pregnant, but everyone in the situation lost just over the greed. And it's stupid greed too, because I don't know who told this woman that if she was to kill her baby father, somebody was just going to show up with all of his money. I know some people had that she didn't think it through. Because a lot of people have that understanding, like, oh, okay, well, this is my significant other. A lot of people don't even know you need to be married a lot of times, but they're like, yo, this is my significant other. He has money. If he dies, I'm just supposed to inherit it. But she really believed that somebody's just going to show up with all of his money and assets at her doorstep, and it was just going to be good. She went straight to jail.
Yo,
she wasn't even married to him.
She wasn't married, bro.
She wasn't married to him. I thought you said that.
No.
No, the baby daddy.
No, the baby daddy.
Yes, baby daddy.
Oh my God. Yo, but let me ask you something. With his kid. But is it not correct that in Dominican Republic they only go to school for like 4 hours a day?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Yes, bro. They only go to school for 4 hours a day.
As long as we do. I know for a fact
But lack of knowledge, man. No common sense whatsoever. That's what it is. She didn't even get the ring and everything and thought something was gonna happen. She didn't bother to say, "Oh, let's get married," and anything like that. And make sure the insurance policy got my name on it and everything like that. She ain't do nothing. None of that. She thought that I don't know.
This is another thing. These passport bros should be telling people. Like, don't think that it's just because you a foreigner that's the only reason you're gonna get it. They'll do it to their own people too, especially if they ain't like born and raised in the island, bro. Like in America, they got a thing called Dom Yorks, right? Like Dominicans from New York, right? And in the island, they have Dominicans from the island. Dominicans born in America and Dominicans born on the island, they don't always see eye to eye.
Don't.
These dudes. A lot of times they're like, nah, fuck it, you a gringo. And they Dominican. They just happen to they uncle or aunt, like the first in the family make it to America. They have some kids in America, they bring them back home. Those kids are fools.
Yeah, I know of a situation. Watch this situation. I know of a situation when I was down in Jamaica. This white guy was dating this Jamaican chick. So, but every time he go to Jamaica and leave, he always let his family know when he's going and coming. But he was also building a house with her. Once the house was built, everything finished, the guy didn't show up at the airport back in Canada. So, and if you have to understand the pull that Canadians, the French and Spain have in Jamaica and British, it's a serious pull. So the Canadians called the police to be like, hey, where is my brother, such and such, and didn't come back. He's building a house up in Flanker, blah, blah, blah. Where is he? We haven't seen him. The police go up there and start questioning the chick. Hey, did he leave? He left to go to the airport, blah, blah, blah. The police, Jamaican police, they looked, they didn't believe it. They went back up there. When they went back up there, another guy was in the house. Brought more guys up there because the guy didn't show up. He didn't even check in at the airport. Like this chick, like the police are not gonna know that this guy didn't even check in at the airport in Mobay. He didn't check in. So that means between, what Flanker, I don't know if you know where Flanker is, to the airport. Flanker is the neighborhood, the first neighborhood you get. You can't even get out of the Mobay airport without running into Flanker. He lived at the hill. He built the house at the top of the hill once before you get out the airport. So they found the man chopped up in the backyard.
Like that.
Because the plan was when the white boy finished building the house, we chop him up, we kill him, and then the house is me and yours. Whatever extravagant, whoever came up with that idea. But
This is Jamaica?
This was in Jamaica. Wow. Yo, bro, I got some stories for DR and I got stories in Colombia.
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere.
Same thing. We got all of those, you know what I mean? But the point is that, like, the point that we're trying to put out there is that, like, these people will do it to their own people. They will do it to anybody. As long as you are someone who's not connected in the culture, you can be victimized.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's really what it is. You know what I mean? So, like, if you really connect in the culture, you'll have a lower chance of being victimized, even if you are a foreigner. But even if you are a local who happens to move outside the country, get some sort of prosperity and comes back, your disconnection with that culture from however long you was away can cost you your life. So that's like, you got to be really, you know, as some people say, tapped in. You know what I mean? Like another story in Jamaica, it's a quick, crazy ass story though. You probably heard about this one too, is this woman moved to America, right? She couldn't bring her kids, but she was struggling the whole time she was in America, right? She sent all of her money back to Jamaica to take care of her kids. So they didn't have to come to America and they didn't have to do what she was doing. And for one, she had one job for him, to build her house. He was supposed to oversee the building of her house, her son. So she sent her the money all the time to oversee the building of her house, right? Every time she got updates, it would be a picture of a house, but the house wasn't her house. It was someone else's house. Every time she came to visit the house, it was someone else's house. He was just tapped in with whoever's house it was. He showed his mama this person's house.
The son was doing this?
Son.
What?
Mom went all the way to retirement. She's packed up. She's ready to go back home and retire inside of her house. Son got a problem now, doesn't he?
Serious problem.
Don't tell me he killed his own mother, man.
Son hires one of his friends to go and kill his mom as soon as she pulls up in the country. And you know what happened?
What
friend went to the mom and he was like, listen, your son sent me to kill you and I couldn't do it.
What?
Yeah. He sent him to go get his mom, and then he went to the mom, and you know, he took the mom. He was like, listen, your son sent me here to kill you. That house, that's not your house. He knows you're gonna come back, you're gonna want to get that house, and that house is not there for you. He spent all your money. He sent me here to kill you, but I couldn't do it. And he told him.
And what she left this boy when he was how old?
I don't remember the exact age, but he grew up there. He was, you know, maybe like his 20s.
You know what I mean? Like he was a grown man, but he wasn't like an old guy.
So since he's a little boy, him and the people she left him with been scamming the mother.
It was really just him because she sent him the money to take care of himself and to build a house.
Oh,
so he was sending reports back to his mom about this is what's going on with the house. This is the pictures. See, they built up this. They put that roof up the way you like it. They put the windows in. She's like, okay, well, change this to that. I'll send you money. She's sending that money, and he's eating it every time for years and years and years. That house that she sent the pictures of was never her house.
Wow.
And you know the sad part about it is, he couldn't even see that was his house.
That would take common sense and intelligence.
Wow, that's a real good point. That is a real good point. That was really his house.
He couldn't see that she was building him a house.
Building his future.
Yes.
Because when she died, it goes to him.
Oh man. Yeah, that's a good point.
He didn't see it. He was so busy living for today that he couldn't see.
What I would have known, what was the end thing that happened?
Oh, he went to jail.
Oh, he went to jail. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's done for. He ain't coming back out.
Wow. Because the attempted murder, order under contract.
Murder for hire.
Yeah, murder for hire. and also defrauding his own mother of building his house.
She don't got that house no more. She's broke. She's broke. She's retired and poor. She got nothing now. That's messed up.
All her savings was going to make sure that her last year, her Social Security covers her living because the house was paid for.
You don't want to drop the N word? You don't want to drop it? Because that's a real nigga shit, bro. Real nigga shit, bro. You don't get no more nigga than that.
That's below nigga.
But guess what?
Did you?
Down there, man, down in South America, all these places, that shit happening on a regular basis, bro.
Okay, yeah, like I was
People
just about to ask
you direct the conversation because this is your own podcast. So we can ramble for days. We talk all the time about this stuff. So you keep us on track to what you really want to talk about. But bringing up South America, let's talk about the guy who not too long ago, he went to South America. He found a girl in Colombia. He was a chef, right?
Oh, yeah. He was buying a building.
Yeah. He did like a barbecue.
They murdered his ass.
They murked him.
Huh?
Yeah, they murked him. He came down here, he set up his business, and like I was telling you, the whole time he's sitting there saying, yo, these things are weird. These people are trying to get me. He noticed a lot of suspicious things that he pointed out that should have put him on alert that, you know what I mean?
But they didn't arrest anybody, though.
What happened?
Did they arrest anybody? Yeah, that's so far.
I'm not sure, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't arrest anybody. You know what I mean? Because like I said, this seems like a situation where there was a lot of cooperation going on between the locals, the people who he was working with. And a lot of people don't like it when I say this, and I may be wrong, so I'm not going to say it's 100% true, but possibly there could have been coordination with his wife also. You know what I mean?
Talking about the chick, wait a minute, the wife in the States or the chick he was dating in?
Chick down there.
And that chick was from San Andreas. If we're talking about the same situation.
She's talking about this situation. I think the property owner did that.
Could have been the property owner also, because I heard that, just to bring context to everyone who doesn't know about what's going on, he went there, decided to move to Colombia. He bought the properties and he bought a rental property. And there were tenants inside the rental property. And apparently, I think he wanted to get them out because they weren't paying any rent.
But check this out, though. That chick wasn't his wife. He was supposed to marry her.
So they weren't married yet.
Yeah, they weren't married yet. That was his fiancée. So once he died, she can't go and say, yo, well, my husband bought this. This is mine. So there was unless his family from America, Georgia, came down there, I guess.
See, let me tell you what I think the problem was in the first place. He went in alone.
Oh, yeah. You said that when it happened, when we spoke about it.
Yeah.
Do what now?
You said that when it happened, when we spoke about it before.
He went in like this other guy that's buying some property up there on the North Coast, that's out in, like, I think it's past Barranquilla or past Cartagena, Barranquilla, Santa Marta. It's a fishing village. And I said, he's buying up all the land and don't want to tell nobody else about it. And I'm just saying to myself, you really don't know the people that you're dealing with. They will let you buy up all that land.
Uh-huh.
And then when you buy up all that land, they collect all that money. You come up missing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know why?
Go ahead.
Because you're down there by yourself. You don't go, you will not see a Jew or a Mexican operating, or any Asian operating by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They do not operate by themselves. So if you cut this head off, there's 100 more heads.
Yeah.
Well, who owns the place? We took out him. No, it's 100 of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna go to this.
And we all got documentation. We have agreements with this motherfucker.
Right. Mm-hmm. So when we go in and buy, we buying the block.
Mm-hmm.
We buying the block. Mm-hmm. But that's not what we do. We want to go buy it on our own. Look, watch this.
Yeah, bullied like that as a group.
Watch this. Look what they keep showing us. I don't know where the disconnect is. They showed us with Bill Cosby, you worth $700, $800 million. We're going to lock you up and we know it's illegal. They locked up Bill Cosby, know it was illegal to lock him up, and held him in court in jail for years, and they know it was illegal. But
he about to get paid again.
Wait a minute. It's not about getting paid, because these people that's getting paid, they gave everybody a stimulus around the United States. It's not about money, it's power.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're gonna show you is we're gonna show you that you out here by yourself. We know you out here by yourself because we know you people have no code of conduct. Yeah. You operate by yourself. All those hundreds of millions of dollars you got not gonna save you this time. We're gonna lock you up, and we know it's illegal. Now you have to get yourself out. They did it with all the black entertainers just by themselves, and they doing it with Kanye. Kanye, we're not producing that shirt for you. We don't have to. Black White Lives Matter. We're not gonna do it, and you worth $11 billion. And we could lock you up. We could create something. We could bankrupt you.
They kicked them out of JP Morgan.
Because you by yourself. You don't have a group. You don't have a community. So we can lock you up whenever. Mm-hmm. We can lock any one of y'all up because we know y'all do not know how to operate. Y'all go all over the world by yourself. You never set up any communities.
You know, what you're saying is 100% true because, you know, if you were to keep track of how much corrupted money goes through banks, you'd be shocked. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there's any bank that doesn't have corrupted deals for billions of dollars going through their bank, and they know that money's probably drug money, criminal money, you know what I mean, illegal money, and they'll help you launder it. But the first time I've ever seen somebody actually get their money rejected from a bank, especially like a large bank like JP Morgan Chase, you know what I mean? Like just a couple years ago, they had the Mossack Fonseca scheme where in Panama, they had rich leaders, like even Vladimir Putin had money in Mossack Fonseca. A lot of politicians and people, they hide money in a whole bunch of banks that, like warlords, people who are super corrupted. The first time I've ever heard of somebody actually getting rejected and kicked out the bank and the money returned was Kanye fucking West.
$140 million. Here, we don't want your money, 140 million. Come get your 140 million, nigga.
He's worth 6.6 billion.
He said 11, but I'll take the 6.
Yo, he done blew Jay-Z and Beyonce away.
Right.
And Oprah.
he told Piers Morgan, how much are you worth? Piers Morgan said, not as much as you. So Kanye West said, so why would I listen to you? You should listen to me.
Exactly.
Piers Morgan said, in business I will. But once again, Kanye's out there by himself. We keep going out there by ourselves unprotected, and that's why this keep happening. You don't hear nothing about this happening with Asians. Jews as sure as hell ain't gonna happen.
Oh, hell no.
And even if Mexicans come somewhere, they coming 10, 50, 100 deep. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna catch them by themselves like you catch us. It's not gonna happen because they understand what community is. They understand what community is. But I gotta make a phone call. I told somebody I was gonna call him at 9 o'clock for this meeting.
All right. Well, you said so pretty much you covered everything you wanted to cover, right?